More to come on that, I'm sure. All right, it's been 24 hours. Well, actually more than 24 hours. That was the deadline given to the man who gave a misleading invite to residents of a Twin Falls homeless shelter to own up to his prank, apologize, and he wouldn't be named publicly. Well, he didn't do that. He didn't apologize or come forward and say, yeah, that was me. So the director of that shelter came through on his promise and confirmed to Andrew Bartline that man was David Reilly, a write-in candidate for Idaho's governor at one point, and a Kootenai County delegate to the GOP convention this past weekend in Twin Falls, who took it upon himself to invite local homeless people to a Tom Luna meet and greet the first night of that convention. Not only did David Reilly not apologize, but took to Twitter this morning to basically troll himself about being involved with the prank. Andrew, this story has so many layers to it, and we're going to let you walk us through them as we kind of get through this. But basically, there's been no remorse on Reilly's part in this, nor any disavow or denouncement from any of his North Idaho colleagues.
Yeah, and that's the part that makes the shelter so upset, is they feel that their guests at their shelter were used as political pawns to make a political statement. Political prank even is a word we've used, thrown around quite a bit. Now, this has the shelter upset, and they feel that they're not getting recognized for that. So this morning, Valley House Executive Director John Spiers confirmed to us that Reilly gave the shelter flyers inviting its homeless guests to Tom Luna's event, as Brian just mentioned. Spiers spoke with Reilly on the phone for 15 minutes yesterday. Spiers says Reilly did not deny his involvement. And what kind of communication led you to understand that David Reilly was behind this?
Yeah, originally there was a picture given to us by the Luna campaign because they thought it was a particular person.
And I said, you know, we heard some rumors about who it might be. I have a picture of the person that we have been told that it was. Do you mind if I send it over and you can identify for me if this is the person who delivered the flyers to you or not?
They sent a picture over. It had multiple people in the picture.
John from the shelter called me back almost immediately, just a few minutes later, and he said, actually, it's 100% not the person you think it is. It's the person standing behind him in the plaid shirt.
And the shelter pointed to David Reilly.
Yes.
So I got his phone number and I called him and I had the discussion. I was on the phone with him for about 15 minutes. Me personally, I have no doubts that it was him from our conversation. Very much a politician. He wanted to know if I was recording the conversation or if there's anybody else listening in. And I assured him it was just he and I on the phone, nobody else. He wanted to only speak in hypotheticals, which to me, it's just not my world.
I think it's a sad commentary on where politics are, that people are willing to use others for their gain. It's not something I would do.
He had said that he was trying to make a point, hypothetically, of course, trying to make a point for that the Luna campaign would see the people he doesn't think that they're seeing, you know, in terms of the needy.
And you didn't believe that excuse?
No, I did not believe it. And I told him that.
And that is the most insulting part of it. I know it's been mentioned before that Tom Luna was homeless as a child.
I don't know if you're aware of this. There's some sort of moral posturing right now from David Reilly. He's putting things on social media and the internet where he's thanking the Luna campaign for bringing attention to homelessness. And he took a screenshot of him donating $100 to Valley House.
David Reilly, he donated $100. When did this happen and how did this happen? Because I'm not aware of it.
It's a screenshot he put on social media last night.
Huh. I'm not aware of it. I guess it's a gesture. I mean, but just donating to the Valley House is not exactly the same as an apology, man. Not the way I see it.
So now the question becomes, who is David Reilly? Why does he matter? Well, first off, he's a Kootenai County delegate. In the GOP convention this past weekend, Reilly had a say on the official GOP party platform, just like any other delegate. And this behavior is not in a vacuum. In 2017, Reilly attended the Charlottesville Unite the Right rally, where advertisers then boycotted his father's radio station in response, forcing Reilly's resignation. After that, he moved to Idaho. Reilly ran for Post Falls School Board in 2021. He lost that election by 6 points. And now Reilly running for governor as a Democrat write-in candidate. So in Idaho, he is involved, Brian. This is a person that matters, and he's a person who's in charge of things.
And I know you reached out to the Kootenai County Republican Central Committee to ask him about his involvement up there, how he became a delegate to the GOP convention under their county, by the way. What did Brent Regan have to say about that?
Yeah, when we talked to Brent Regan, he didn't even believe that Reilly was involved in this. He says he doesn't believe it at all. In the world of deep fakes, I think was his language. He doesn't believe Reilly had anything to do with this. He also didn't denounce this act. I said, if somebody did do this, is this a problem? He said, well, homeless people got fed. But, I mean, the argument would be just because Luna and his campaign handled it well and took these people in doesn't mean that it was necessarily okay. As far as him becoming a Kootenai County delegate, he says he signed up. And what Brent Regan told me is, it's hard to fill seats sometimes, and if you're signed up, you'll probably get a seat. That was essentially the language used in the phone call.
The other thing that was interesting is he tried to distance himself by saying, well, he's running for governor, but as a Democrat.
Well, yeah, that's what I said, too. I said, you can't completely disconnect yourself from this. You were the chair of the Kootenai County GOP. This guy is a delegate in Kootenai County for the Republicans. He says, well, he's running for governor as a Democrat, basically saying, not my problem.
Yeah. Brent Regan, by the way, chairman of the Kootenai County Republican Central Committee, also a chair of the board of the Idaho Freedom Foundation. So it's all kind of connected if you kind of follow the lines a little bit. So, all right, thank you very much, Andrew, for digging into that and getting us some of these answers. I appreciate it.
Thank you.